Series being sponsored by the University of Hawaii Professional Assembly, or UPA, our faculty union. Today you've got the faculty leadership here at UPA come here to talk to you, have a conversation about how we can make UH a better place to teach, research, and serve the community. Before we begin, I want to introduce everybody. My name is Nani Azman. I teach at Maui College, and I'm secretary of the UPA board. We have David Duffy from UH Manoa, who is our president. You should recognize Corey Takemoto. He's our director here at HCC. Next to Corey, we have Sharon Rowe, vice president of the board and from Kapiolani Community College. Next to her, we have Bob Cooney from UH Manoa, treasurer of the board. We also have in the audience, we have got Peter Kay, our chief technology officer, and Chris Hanselman, one of the associate executive directors for UPA. So, David, I'll pass it over to you.
Okay. You may know us because of the contract. Every couple of years we go to bat for a contract, and then our staff spend the rest of the time enforcing it. But recently we've realized that this is not enough. There's things happening in education, not just here but across the country, that are going to really shape what happens to the contract and to faculty. And a lot of it is pretty scary. First, we have the declining state support, and that's not just here, that's across the country. The idea that higher education is a common good, sort of like a high school or K-12 education, or the GI Bill back in the 40s, that's passed. Now people see this as an individual benefit, not worth the government paying for. And so then students begin to see education is something they can buy a degree rather than earn it and learn it. So that's coming at us. We have regulations from Washington. My favorite involves, she's not here, but there was a rule that tried to come down that for every hour in class, students had to spend 3 hours in homework. And I was at the Council of Chairs at the time, and there was a woman from here, I guess she taught welding, and she said, "Do you really want my students to spend 3 hours a day practicing at home?" And so it at least died at UH. We have the idea of MOOCs, that are those large courses that right now are free, but as soon as someone finds a way to make money off of them, maybe they'll be teaching welding to 10,000 people at once, but I don't think it'll end well. We've got real emphasis because students are paying more and more on return on investment rather than, so what am I going to get out of something? And that's a reasonable thing to ask, increasingly because students are having higher and higher debts to replace the state support. We are first in the nation in a good way in that we have the lowest debt of graduating students of anywhere in the country. It's only $17,000. And so unless you get a good job, or that's the average, one of my grad students is up to $50,000 and counting. And so she's going to need a really good job. Let's see what else. Oh, that's probably good enough. Oh, the other thing is, increasingly, because of the cut in funding, administrators are hiring more and more part-time people. And often they're superb teachers, but they're not being paid for all that committee work that we hate but is necessary. So who's looking after the curriculum? Who's doing all those things that happen in departments? And increasingly, the administration is stepping in. They're not teachers. Some of them haven't taught for 20 years if they've ever taught. And so things are getting further and further away from the people on the ground, the people in the classrooms. So all this is coming at us. So what we're hoping, it's no longer enough to just do the contract. What we need from you is help with solutions, ideas about ways we may not be able to do things nationally, but perhaps we can be a leader nationally. Being on the world's most isolated set of islands buys us a certain amount of space to explore things.